Why should I pay to get help with my finances when there are plenty of free or low cost options available? Since I'm a coach that specializes in helping people who don't know how to budget, you can imagine how many times I've been asked this question. And it's perfectly valid. The funny thing is, the people who are asking that question aren't asking questions like, why should I save so I don't live paycheck to paycheck? Or why should I control my spending so I can pay my bills? Those are valid questions too. The reason why people need to pay for help in areas they haven't been successful in, finances included, is because they haven't been able to figure it out themselves up until this point. That's not to say that no one can figure it out themselves. I sure did as my finances go, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't overnight, and it would have happened a lot faster with the right guide. In this episode, I'm sharing why you need to invest in your financial success and why it's perfectly okay to spend money to get better with it. Now, before we get into today's episode, I want to answer a City Girl Solutions question that came in from Kelsey. My fiance and I just got engaged over Valentine's Day. We are both anti-wedding people and wouldn't mind a micro wedding. My parents, his parents, my sister, his brother, that's it. Maybe my godmother as well. However, we have a lot more friends and family that we love and don't necessarily want to leave out. Any advice on resources for a micro wedding, then having a larger party later on? I want to spend max $15,000 on the wedding, but the less the better. First off, let me say congratulations on getting engaged. That's very exciting. I've actually had a few clients get married during our coaching session time together, and I know firsthand how quickly costs can add up. So a few pieces of advice would be start saving now. Start saving as soon as you possibly can. Create a wedding sinking fund and contribute to it regularly, both you and your partner. Next, I want you to start listing your expenses out. Get your spreadsheet and list everything you want to have for the wedding, including a target spending limit. So you know that you don't want to exceed $15,000 max, but $15,000 is a big number to fill across a lot of things, right? So it's good that we have the max limit, but let's work to set a limit for each of the categories that you would have for the wedding. So food, flowers, DJ, alcohol, those things if you plan to have, let's go ahead and set target spending limits for each of them. Another piece of advice, I know DIY can be time consuming, but it can help you save a lot of money. Can you recruit friends to help? Flowers, lighting, table decor, and setup. You can also assign friends to categories and have them research low-cost options for you. So like the DJ, the alcohol, the venues. And then finally, ask for cash from friends and family instead of items or instead of things from a registry. This can help you get a head start on saving for that big party in the future or just y'all's lives together in the future. And if you did exceed the $15,000 limit, this can help kind of offset that overage. So hopefully that helps, and enjoy this process, Kelsey. It's a very important one. Okay, let's get to today's episode. If you have never invested in any type of coach or trainer, I would imagine that it can be hard to wrap your head around spending money to get better with something that you know you can learn on your own. I've actually found that the clients who work with me are the ones who've worked with a coach before, or they've invested in themselves in a way that translates to that next step being more hands-on work with a coach. So I really want to spend some time on this notion of paying to get better with money. And it starts by looking within. If your finances aren't where you want them to be, instead of asking a question like, why should I spend money to get better with money? A better question to ask would be, does it make sense to continue what I've been doing, knowing it's not working, or do I make the decision to do things differently and get on track once and for all? That is the question you need to be asking. And the answer to that question is exactly why you should pay to get help with your finances. The answer to that question is exactly why you should pay to get help in any area of your life that hasn't been successful. The power of learning from those who are where you want to be is priceless. The power of someone holding you to a higher standard than you've ever held yourself to is priceless. And the power of progress and results from doing the right things is priceless. So the real question is, why wouldn't you pay to get help with your finances? I think, this thought of, well, I have to spend money, but I'm bad with money. Yeah, but how are you going to get better with money? And if you think, well, I can go out and do the research and implement the things that I've learned, it's true. But it takes time to do that, first and foremost. And secondly, why haven't you done it up until this point? If your situation was just so bad, you would think you would have already done what you needed to do to turn things around. And if you haven't, the real question isn't a matter of, well, why should I spend money to get better with money? It's, why haven't I done what I needed to do to turn my situation around? So just some food for thought. But let's take the example of working with a personal trainer at the gym, which is very common, right? And there's often not a lot of questioning if someone should do that, right? When they want to get better with their health or their weight, hiring a personal trainer is a common thought. So you don't necessarily hire that personal trainer because you don't know what to do, right? I mean, when it comes to your health and your fitness, you already know you need to work out and eat better. But even though you know those things, that's not why you're hiring that personal trainer. You hire that trainer to get to the nitty-gritty issue of your health and weight issues. You work with that trainer to get the right game plan for you to follow to reach your health and fitness goals. You work with that trainer for a specific amount of time with the mindset that you will take what you learn and grow and implement on your own. So it's not just paying to know what to do, it's paying for the exact roadmap, the accountability to stay successful, and exactly what you need to get the results you want. So just like you would pay for those things for a personal trainer for your health and weight, the same applies to a money coach. You need to avoid overspending, avoid accumulating debt, and budget better. But having someone hold you accountable, having someone to map out a plan of attack for your income, and having someone to learn from to know what you need to do to grow and implement on your own, those are the things that come from investing in a coach for your money or a financial trainer for your money that truly leads to long-term success. The investments that you put into learning from someone who is where you want to be or someone who has the guide to get you where you want to go, it's not short-term investment that I just learn it and boom, I'm done. No, you're investing so that you have the long-term capabilities of reaching your goals. Quick fixes often don't get to the root of the problem, and they often don't lead to success or consistency long-term. So when you make a big investment, like one with working with a coach or a personal trainer, it's not a quick fix because we're parting with oftentimes large amounts of money, but we're learning everything we need to learn to see that long-term impact. So another way to think about this, and I touched on this a little bit, but think about it as time versus money, okay? You can spend a lot of time researching and learning what you can do to improve your finances, okay? The research may not cost any money at all, right? You may be able to find everything you need across a variety of resources. However, you are giving up your time at the expense of not spending money. And you may also be taking more time than you need to because as you're implementing the things you've learned, they may not produce the intended results. So you have to go back to the drawing board and try something different and spend even more time researching and spend even more time trying something new. But on the flip side, you can spend a lot of money to skip the time it takes to get up that learning curve and start seeing your results instantly. So I think it comes down to what is more valuable to you. Is it time or is it money? For me, time is way more valuable because money can and always will come, right? There will always be enough money. There will always be an infinite supply of money. But time, the one thing we can't get back is our time. So if I have to part ways with a large sum of money, but I know it's going to save me a lot of time, I'm parting ways with the money because my time is more valuable than anything. Now, I may not have fully convinced you that oftentimes people actually need to pay to get better with money, but my goal was to plant the seed of thinking differently. Okay, so my goal wasn't to convince you that you need to spend money to get better with it. I just wanted to plant that seed that investing in yourself is more valuable than you think. Thinking that it's okay to pay to get better in any area of your life, even if you don't get a physical, material, tangible result instantly from the investment, it's okay. The change that comes internally, often we can't see until our actions align with that change. So hopefully that helps, but I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about some common signs that people may be in need of a money coach. And again, I'm just trying to open your mind to the possibilities. So the first sign that someone may need a finance coach is everything they've tried doesn't work. If you personally have tried to create and follow a budget, or you've tried to pay off your debt, or you've tried to save money, but you always touch it, you always get back into debt, or your budget never works out, it's a sign you need some outside help. It's a sign you need to do things a little bit differently. And there are plenty of ways to go about budgeting, saving, and paying off debt. So if nothing is working, it's likely because you just haven't found the right strategy for you. A finance coach can help you create a system that allows you to budget, save, and pay off debt over time so you can actually see the results that you're looking for. And let me just add this. Just like any goal, nothing happens overnight, okay? The strategies that a finance or money coach teaches you will require consistency. But I will say this, if you do the work, you will see the results. Point blank, period. Okay, the next sign you need a finance coach. You can't control your spending, and you know it. And you know it. So there are plenty of women out there who make really good money, but can't control their spending. If you are in that boat, then you likely need some assistance. And hey, I was in that boat way back when, right? So no judgment here, but if we know, we got to do something about it. So there's nothing worse than knowing your spending is out of control, but not knowing what to do about it. And that's where a finance coach can step in and help in a few ways. I think the first way they can help is by getting to the root of why you're constantly overspending, why you can't seem to control yourself. And another way is that they can help you set up a plan that allocates your money to the right things. And as you know with me, that includes the things you enjoy, right? I firmly believe that a budget should include the things we love in moderation, but not at the expense of our goals and priorities. A lack of control with your budget and spending usually means a lack of discipline. You need to be whipped into shape, or at least your finances do. And when you have a plan that shows you all of your responsibilities can be taken care of, and there's still some money left to enjoy yourself, you can breathe a little. You don't have to be worried about not enjoying your life on a budget. The numbers add up, and that's a good thing. The next part is actually sticking to those numbers. Next sign, you need a finance coach. You are in a situation where you feel stuck and you don't know how to move forward. So maybe you have sought out help with your finances in the past. You read books and blogs, you listened to podcasts, you watched YouTube videos, you purchased or downloaded budgeting software. And all of that made a difference, but now you're in a position where you don't know how to move forward appropriately. A finance coach can help when you feel stuck and you don't know what move to make next. They can offer a different perspective to your situation and guide you through the right steps to get away from that place of feeling stuck. Oftentimes, people feel this particular sign, but they suffer in silence. So if you feel this way in your finances, if you feel like you're stuck, you don't know what to do next, seek help because there is a way out. And please do not be ashamed or embarrassed. Just be proactive. Don't be more miserable than you need to be. Don't keep yourself in a situation that you don't want to be in. Let's do something different to get different results. Okay, next sign, you need a money coach. You are not growing wealth over time. So when you have debt, it's hard to have a positive net worth, meaning the balance of your debt is a lot higher than the balance of your assets. And assets include things like property, savings account balances, and investments. If your debt is staying the same month over month and your assets are not growing, you're not building wealth over time. A finance coach can help you put the proper steps in place to build your net worth and ultimately build your wealth over time. I think as we get older, we should all be focused on building our wealth. And building wealth doesn't necessarily mean accumulating more money. It could also mean paying down debt, right? Because the longer you have debt, the less you'll have in terms of your assets because you'll always be putting money towards that debt. So paying down your debt balances is a big part of building wealth. And another thing too, as we get older, more and more expenses come up as we grow in our lives and our careers and our families. So having a money coach there to help make sure you're taking the proper steps to build that wealth you want is really important. Okay, the final sign you need a money coach. You don't hold yourself accountable because you don't know how. So I think one of the most important aspects of money management is being able to sacrifice and be disciplined. And a lack of accountability can make it very hard to want to sacrifice and to be disciplined. And if you lack the accountability to do what it takes to manage your money on your own, this is where a money coach can help. It's like if you can't hold yourself accountable, find someone else who will. When you have a money coach, there is now this extra layer of accountability because someone is holding you to your words and actions. Someone is watching your every money move. Now you have to act or you're wasting your time and your coach's time. That extra layer of accountability can be a true game changer. It can teach you what it takes to be accountable so you can actually start holding yourself to the same standards without someone having to do it for you. So I hope this episode got your mental juices flowing, got you to maybe start thinking just a little differently, to start seeing the possibilities, because the value of a coach or investing in your financial growth and any growth really can be tremendous, but only when you're ready to do the work. Now, before we wrap, I need to tell you that the Money Management Mastery Program is coming soon. So the Money Management Mastery Program is my 8-week live group coaching and online course that helps women learn how to master the money they make. And in this 8-week time frame, we cover things like mindset, creating a budget, controlling your spending, creating a budget that aligns to your goals, setting money goals, and so much more. It also includes like my budgeting template, my spending tracker. So it's not just a course with me teaching, but you also get workbooks and templates and spreadsheets. So I open this program one time per year, and that time is coming. You can learn more by going to mmm.citygirlsavings.com/money management mastery. I will also link to it in the show notes. Thank you for listening, and I will see you soon.